Welcome to Sideline Pass. I'm joined by Panthers legend, long snapper, and team captain JJ Jansen. JJ, it is always so good to talk to you. Thanks for doing this.
It's a blast. I'm kind of enjoying these nice, comfy chairs.
Yeah.
I'll just put my arms up here and relax. It's a very cozy environment. I like this.
It is. You don't get these comfy chairs in the meeting rooms?
No,
What are you working with, a desk chair?
Actually, my chair in the meeting room has broken 3 times.
JJ.
So, including early in the season, I leaned back in my chair and the whole back just went, and I was in full recliner mode. We've got a lot of good maintenance people here at the organization, so it got quickly fixed. But I actually fell back 2 separate times because I forgot it hadn't been fixed yet between the morning meeting and the afternoon meeting, and I broke it twice.
And you said that was early in the season?
Early in the season.
Well, that's tough because you're still getting to know the other specialists, right?
Yeah, I didn't make a good showing of it. This was actually when Matt Wright was here, so we had all 4 of us were here, and the 3 of them were giving me a hard time.
You just want to be cool, you know, you're the elder statesman, and all of a sudden you lean back, and everyone's like, oh no.
I passed on cool a long time ago. that has long since left me.
So you are one of 3 team captains. You're a team captain again this year. What I want to know is, from your time at the Panthers, are there captains that have stuck out to you that you were inspired by or that really impacted you?
You know, I think captains is a really interesting thing because oftentimes we choose the best players in their position. So it's often the quarterback, it's the middle linebacker. Certainly when you look back at the years when we went to the Super Bowl year and all, like there's some iconic captains photos with Cam and Luke and Greg and Charles Johnson, Ryan Khalil. Like there were some really cool things. I always thought what was really special was, and I'm excluding myself from this, like whoever the special teams captain, I always thought was a really valuable role because they weren't like the premier player. They're not the starting quarterback. They are a guy that communicates on 4 phases of special teams, probably has a prominent role on offense or defense, and has to be one of the true glue guys of the entire team. And so the guy that always sticks out to me in terms of like awesome in terms of captainship was always Colin Jones. He played safety for us, played a little bit of linebacker, did a little bit of everything. And actually probably the guy on special teams I worked with the most, just because that role, it's so cool to be able to honor a role player with a captainship, because so often the captains are just, who are your best players? And rightfully so. When your best players are your best leaders, that makes for the best teams. But in special teams, you always feel like you get a little bit more insight into who the full team thinks is like the best at understanding their role. And so I always thought that was a really cool way to do it.
And certainly that describes you. What does it mean to be a captain in the NFL? Like, how do you approach the role now that it's been given to you? Not just special teams captain, but team captain. Where does that come in terms of leadership?
I think it's an honor. I know it's an honor because your guys, your teammates are looking at you and say, we trust you. We're giving you a title that in some way means that we're willing to listen to you. You know, I hope that they would look at me and say, okay, this is a guy that's got some wisdom in some areas I certainly can't do.
Well, they do, because they voted for you. They do look at you, yeah.
Sometimes I wonder if they just, I'm the old guy, check.
No.
But I always feel very honored because it feels like it allows me, they are giving me permission to sort of speak into their football journeys. And while I certainly can't run down on a kickoff or a punt and hit people the way they do, the nuances, the physicality of special teams, I do think it signals, at least to me, that they trust me to provide a little bit of wisdom and insight, and I take that to be really special. You know, it's a cool part to look back on my career when it'll all be done and go, hey, there's a handful of years where your teammates thought enough of you to put you. The C on your chest is it's a huge honor.
Yeah.
And I always thought it'd be cool if that ever happened. And a handful of the last years, certainly Johnny Hecker was a captain, Sam Franklin was a captain. Like it was fun kind of sharing all that with those guys, but it's always an honor whenever your team selects you.
Well, you talked about this wisdom and what you bring to the table. Another thing that people may or may not know is that I would call you a rules aficionado. So I will be honest, when there is a flag and there's this moment where you don't know if it's gonna go against the offense or defense, I look at you when I'm on the sidelines to see which way you're pointing. Is that something that you consciously stay on top of and provide that for the team? Or do you just happen to, every year the rule changes come out, that's just your thing, you stay on top of it?
The rules are so interesting because most guys don't need to concern themselves with the large majority of the rules. They don't affect them. I'm in a little bit of a different spot where I'm generally observing the game for most of for 59 minutes of on-field play. Like, I'm just observing the game. So you just get very tuned in. I love the rules. I think understanding how games are played and officiated, you can use that to your advantage. And I think it's really silly when some people choose to kind of stick their head in the sand and go, I'm not going to worry about the rules, whatever the officials say goes, because those are often the biggest plays in the game, a defensive pass interference, an illegal man downfield. Like, those have big changes in the games. One of the really cool parts, and this is something that both Chris Tabor, our former special teams coach who we played against this past week, and Tracy Smith, our current special teams coach, is you find in special teams that those coaches that are dialed into the details, they know the most about the game, and they show you how to influence the officials positively to your team. So we know who's officiating what plays. So on the field, like, you always look, you say you look at me, like,
I do.
I know where the flags are coming and what they're looking at. You just have enough experience with it. And then I always feel like one of my little, no one's actually given me this as an official role, but I just sort of took it upon myself, is I like yelling the specific rule at the officials because the game is happening really fast and we've got unbelievable NFL officials, but sometimes you have to, like, give them the words to what they're seeing. So for instance, Sam Franklin, I was watching him the whole time as we were playing Buffalo. He got called for a holding. I'm yelling out on the field, holding white 28, and there comes the flag. Like, whether they saw it or not, you're just trying to give them the words for what they just saw, because a lot of times there's a lot of chaos. That's always kind of fun for me to do. And then, Andy and I always have a running joke that almost always when there's a flag downfield on a passing play, we always tap the top of our heads, because it feels like those are always illegal man downfield. So he and I will find each other. We may even be 40 yards away from each other, and we're tapping the top of our heads. It's a common foul, and we have fun with it.
I love that. I'll have to look for that. I want to ask you something else about being on the field. So for anyone who's certainly been to a game, and then I know that you can see this if you're watching a game, you look at the sidelines, it's filled with people like me, right? There's 40 of us. There are people that are going, photographers, reporters, videographers, we're going from one side to the other. And then you also have this giant mobile crane that I swear is going to be the death of me one day. We are very lucky, you're lucky as a viewer that you have it. It's a great shot. But that thing zips up and down. There's like 4 people that are just there to tell you to move out of the way.
Sure.
And you guys, as specialists, are also trying to find space. You are trying to find space to long snap. Your kicker is trying to find, any kicker is trying to find a place to place the net, have some space. Punter, the same thing. And you guys are having to watch out for all of us. I've always wondered, have the sidelines gotten more crowded since you started? I have many questions about this one. I want to start right there.
Well, they certainly get more crowded as you get into bigger games.
Yes.
If you have the A team, the local Fox or CBS broadcast, if you have the A team, the B team.
If it's a Monday night game, you've got tons of,
Absolutely. There's more credentialed people. There's more photographers. There's videographers. Pam Oliver was doing our game. She's got 2 or 3. She's got spotters. There's an extra TV. I mean, there's a lot of moving parts. And technically, by the letter of the law, we're in your space. So we have an area, and but they put the net outside that area. So technically, we're not in it, but it's the only place to put the net. You can't, and this is
the only place.
So we're kind of ducking and dodging, and usually the scariest situation is usually after a kickoff, I'm getting ready to snap, and the videographers are running from like what I would call the -20, and they're trying to run to the other side. And here comes, I'm snapping a ball as guys are running across. And I've never hit anybody yet because I usually see them go, and then I'll snap. I'll literally, if I'm going to snap, I snap around them. So I've never hit anybody, but the punters are always worried that I'm going to hit them because they don't think I can see people running. But I will intentionally, as people are running, I will snap it fast, but just so they're running by and it's like sudden. The scariest part, and this is a little cue for you, never run directly behind the net or in front of the net.
Yes.
Because the kickers are coming through, or more dangerous is the ball is getting hit into the net as you're walking past.
Yes.
So you always got to get, I usually say give about a 5-yard circle around the net. It's hard to be in the way at that point.
And look, we've all done it. I try to be very cognizant because I don't want to be the person that gets in the way of you guys' process. Like your job
I wouldn't want to be the
affects
person
game.
that got kicked with the ball.
Well,
that
you
would
guys-
be my bigger concern.
Yes, absolutely. But it is this thing of, and here's the thing, I've never run into a specialist who has had an attitude about it. How are you guys so nice? I mean, because it is, you are trying to do your job. And like you said, you're out in the media space, but there's nowhere else for you to go.
Yeah.
Does it ever get annoying a little bit?
No, it doesn't get annoying.
That's good to know.
Every once in a while, we'll get someone that's a little snarky, and then that's where it's like, okay,
I'm playing the
we're
game.
gonna fight a little bit over our space here. But in general, everyone's like, oh, I'm so sorry. It's like, no big deal. Just keep it moving. We've got really good security guards, and we got other people down there that are usually pretty cognizant about movement. Like no one's ever really. We're all working. I mean, that's the other thing. Like NFL is such an entertainment business. We're on the field playing, but we're not making. We used to joke hundreds of dollars. Everyone on that field's making millions of dollars, but no, we're certainly not making hundreds of dollars if it's not for the TV partners and the local. It's all part of the show, and that's what gives us all of our jobs. And so I think in pro football especially, I think there's a very healthy understanding of we are all working here, and different people have different jobs, whether you're in the media, whether you're on the field, whether you're a coach, whether you're security. Like so many people are employed by the NFL in a wide variety of things. Wide variety of ways, and so I think it's really important to let's all work together. I feel the same way about on the field. Like it's a physical game, it's a violent game, but we're all working here. Let's not harm anybody in their process of accomplishing their job.
I've always wondered about that. I always feel like I'm like, oh, excuse me, so sorry. Like,
coming through.
Let me get out. I'm so sorry. I don't want to get in your way because what you're doing is very, very important. Okay, lastly, I want to ask you about broadcasting and being on air. You are a great broadcaster. I always joke that you're going to take my job one day whenever you decide it. And you've been hosting Cart Talk for a few seasons where everyone go check it out if you haven't. I'm sure you have. It's on all the Panthers social media. It's on the website, and you drive around guys on the team. You've had legends. I mean, I even saw you in a truck with, I think, was it Greg Olson or Luke?
Yeah, we did a bit of a series with the 2015 guys, Olson, and
really stepped it up the production level.
That's right. Well, so that actually started because the first one we filmed was the day before training camp, and I had Luke and Keekley. I figured everyone knows that. But I have a Luke. So in our house, he's Big Luke, and my son is Little Luke. Yeah. So now I have to clarify. So if you ever hear me say Big Luke, it's Keekley, and that's how we do it. But it was 98 degrees. Yeah. And so I was like, I can't drive this poor guy. I wanted to talk for like an hour. I wanted to get the full 2015 story. So I said, I can't drive around in a golf cart. You know, obviously we've got some construction around here. We're getting ready for the season, and then obviously building the field house and all this stuff. So there's a lot of construction. I was like, I can't drive this poor guy around for an hour asking questions. We're all sweating. And so we did that whole series from inside a GMC, which is a sponsor, so that's a very good thing. And then Bojangles stepped up, and they were giving us bow boxes, and we had all kinds of good stuff in there. So we had a lot of fun with it. It's a great way. I've always felt like this place operates best when the fans know their players and they have a relationship with them. This is just a very family-friendly community, the Carolinas. And so I've always thought that the best teams excel when the team fits the community. And I always thought the way we fit the community is to be in the community. I thought Charlotte has always been that way. And so just one of the ways to sort of connect players to the fans. And so I said, look, I would love to just host this and work on my hosting chops, because we're very good at getting interviewed. I've had years and years of practice being interviewed, but what you do, that hosting job is really hard because you're holding conversation. In my particular case, I'm also driving, trying to not commit any traffic violations, which I think I made a few. Luke and Coach Rivera were both like, "Hey, there's a stop sign," because I'm looking over here conversing with them while probably blowing through stop signs and stuff like that. So we're working on multitasking. I love that, JJ. Thank you so much for doing this. You'll see him as the host of Sideline Pass in a couple of years. Don't worry. I appreciate the time as always. This was fun. Thanks, Kristen.